Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Ashley and let's do my March wrap up. I read 16 books this past month and I had an average rating of 3.56 out of 5 stars and I read about 6,400 pages. So let's get started. We're going to go through all the physical books I read first and then we'll go into the ebooks. So the first book I read was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and I feel like everyone knows what this is about. I don't want to explain it because I'm not a classics person, so I ended up giving this 2 out of 5 stars. I did not enjoy it. I'm also not a historical fiction person, but I had this book and I pulled it out of my TBR jar, so I had to read it. I can see why a lot of people adore this book and love this book and say it's their favorite. I can see it. It's just not the genre for me at all. I need magic or dragons. Mostly dragons. Next, I read Queen of Myth and Monsters by Scarlett St. Clair. This is the sequel to A King, A Battle and Blood, and A King, A Battle of Blood is about Isolde. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Isolde, I don't know. Isolde, who is given to the vampire king Adrian by her father, and she has to marry Adrian, but she has like a little secret plan to actually kill him and get control back to the humans. But it does not go that way because it is a romance book. I really liked the sequel. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. It was really fun. It broke my heart at times. We learn more about the lore of this world in this one, and more about Isolde as a person and who she was and everything. And I just really liked it. I also love this cover. It's just a very nice and pleasing to look at cover. I'm not sure if there's going to be another one. I think there's going to be. I think there's going to be a third one. If there is, I cannot wait to read it. I will get it right away because Scarlett St. Clair books are like crack. I just need them. I love them. Next, I read Fire and Silk by Melissa Topin, and this is a drug cartel romance. And in this, Mateo kidnaps Mila because Mila is the daughter of a giant drug cartel lord. Like, he's in charge of everything. He's the big boss. And Mateo wants to bring him down, so he kidnaps the daughter in hopes that he'll lure out her father and kill him. But Mila has no idea who her dad is. She has no idea about anything. This is a whole huge shock to her. And then a romance happens. I did not like this. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It was not my favorite. I like mafia romances, but I don't think I like drug cartel romances. Because, like, I've read kidnapping romances before, and I liked it. But this one, I didn't vibe with it. Did not vibe with it. The main character was really kind of stupid. She made some very questionable decisions, and she forgave someone who should not have been forgiven because of the things that that person did. And if I was her, I would have kicked them to the curb and left. That's just me, though. But yeah, not my favorite. Next, I read the Archives of the Invisible Sword trilogy. It is killing me that these are not the same. The first one is The Eyes of Tambora. The second one is The City of Zerdai. And the third one is The King of Korahas. So, this is a YA fantasy trilogy. It's by Marie V. Snyder. And I gave each book 4 out of 5 stars. It's kind of takes place in like a deserty type world, and Shyla is a researcher and a treasure finder, and she helps locate and find the gems of Tambora. But shortly after they're located, they are stolen, and she is getting blamed for it by everyone. So the Water Prince hires her to find the eyes, and if she doesn't, she's gonna die. And it goes into a lot deeper plot from there, and there's some magic, and the world in this, and like the system that they have, because they all live underground. So it's really interesting, because it's really interesting to read about, seeing the dynamic of how they work, how they survive. They can go up to the surface for only like a few hours a day, and if they go up past that in the like dead zone, they'll like literally burn to death and burn to a crisp. It was a really fun read. I love the characters so much. There is a cute little romance in this. The side characters are hilarious. it was just such a fun read. I'm so happy that I finally finished this trilogy. I love Maria V. Snyder's writing so much. She just writes such great worlds and such great characters, and there's found family in this, and Maria V. Snyder is amazing at writing found families. It's so good. I loved it. It was heartwarming. It was fun. There was some great battle scenes. There's some great adventure. The last one, the King of Korra, you get to see all of the cities and not just Zerdai, and it's kind of cool seeing how each city differs from the others. But I highly recommend this. Next, I read The Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. So this is about Mackenzie. She likes to go by Mac. She moves to this town where her college is because her parents are forcing her to go to college, even though she already kind of has a career set up with her website called Boyfriend Fails and Girlfriend Fails. And she already has like 3 figures in the bank. So she really does not need college. But her parents send her anyway, and she goes to the same college as her boyfriend. And while she's there, she meets this one townie called Cooper. I think they're called locals in this book, but I like calling them townies. Coop, he is the bad boy of the town, like, not a relationship guy. And so him and Mac end up becoming friends, and then a little bit something more. And it was a really fun romance to read, but it also hit like at deeper things because Cooper and his brother Evan, their dad died. I believe he was an alcoholic or a drug addict, I can't remember which one. And the mom ran out on them, and so there's like some hard-hitting stuff with that. And then there's also with Mackenzie, she is trying to break free of her rich family and try to show them that she can be independent, and she doesn't want to be the dutiful daughter anymore. So there's also some hard-hitting things with that. I really enjoyed this. I loved all the characters. I love their interactions. Mackenzie makes some questionable decisions at times, but I understand why she's making the questionable decisions. I highly recommend this. I have the next one on hold from my library. I cannot wait to read more in this town. The next one follows the brother Evan, I believe. I think it follows Evan. Either way, I cannot wait to read the next one. This is such a good book. Go read this, you guys. And the last physical book that I read was You Kissed Me First by Cal O'Reilly. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorite books that I read this month. So this is about Katie and Dominic. Katie's sister is getting married, and they go on a cruise beforehand. And Katie originally planned to room with her boyfriend Barrett, but then she found Barrett cheating, and so she broke up with Barrett. And Barrett is also the brother of the groom. So it gets kind of a little bit confusing with who's who at first, but you get the hang of it. So Katie ends up rooming with the best man instead, Dominic. And she never liked Dominic. She hated him from the first time he opened his mouth because she thought he was just like an arrogant asshole. But Dominic has always liked her. This is one of the ones where like he falls first. And it was just so much fun to read. So they have to do fake dating because Dominic opens this big mouth and is like, yeah, no, that's my girlfriend. So they do some fake dating. It's forced proximity because they have to share the same room. This book was just so funny. Like, I actually found myself laughing out loud while reading this, and let me tell you, that was very difficult while recovering from having my wisdom teeth removed. Like, you can still see my bruises. But it was totally worth the pain to laugh at this because there were so many funny lines. There were so many cute scenes between the two. There were some very nice spicy scenes. This author wrote them very, very well. I just absolutely love this. It was so good. Like, the relationship that started between Katie and Dominic, like, first they started to become friends while they're fake dating, and then obviously it turns into more. But it was just so heartwarming and so fun, and there's a lot of funny lines in this. I can't get past it. Like, at one point she literally gives him a BJ and then like spits it out on the floor, and then it's like, oh, you gotta clean your kids up off the floor. I was dying. But I highly recommend this. It was so good. It is like a perfect example of a romantic comedy. Okay, so now we're going to get into the ebooks I read this month. The first one was Charming by Jade Linwood. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. This is about like fairy tales, like Prince Charming. He comes and saves the girl, and then he ends up leaving like within a few days with like half of their money. And so there's 3 women who are tricked by Prince Charming, and they kind of band together to get revenge. I thought this book was okay. I received an e-arc of it from NetGalley. I expected more of the revenge plot. The majority of the book was the 3 girls retelling their story of how Prince Charming wronged them, and it kind of got boring a little bit because I'm like, I want to see them get revenge. Like, I expected like multiple things, multiple like little events that made Prince Charming's life hell, but I honestly don't even remember the revenge that much because there was just so much of the story of the 3 girls that like it kind of overshadowed the revenge plot. It was an enjoyable story. It was like, I had fun reading it. I liked seeing the twist on the fairy tales and the characters. And I just love anything that takes like a classic character from a fairy tale and completely twist them into the opposite of what they are. Like Prince Charming's supposed to be really good, but she decided to make him an evil dickhead, basically. It was okay. Not my favorite fairy tale retelling, but still enjoyable. Next, I read Those We Drown by Amy Goldsmith. I got an e-arc of this book too. This isn't out till July, I believe. So this is about a girl who goes on to a cruise. She's doing a semester at sea with her best friend, and she gets her spot very last minute. And she is a very socially anxious person, so she's nervous about it. She hopes her best friend is going to be there for her and support her and help her be social with these new people and everything. But when she gets there, she finds out that the only reason she got a spot was because the original girl who had her spot completely disappeared without a trace. No one knows where she is. And then after the first night, her best friend also disappears, and no one knows. Like, everyone's saying he's just sick and in quarantine, but she knows that something is up. So this story is about her figuring out what is going on on this boat, why everyone is acting weird, why everyone is lying. I really enjoyed this YA thriller. It was a lot of fun to read. Like, I couldn't guess what was happening at any point, and I'm usually pretty good at guessing. I enjoyed the characters. I loved how the main character was so loyal to her best friend and like was adamant that something was wrong, and she knew that everyone was lying. I really loved the plot. It was so much fun to read. I really enjoyed it. But then we got to the ending. The ending is so open-ended, and I'm okay with open-ended endings. Like, that's fine. I get it. But this one was just way too open-ended. Like, I can't say anything because I don't want to spoil it, but I don't get the reason for the ending. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. So I really did enjoy this book. 3 out of 5 stars. It would have been 4 out of 5 stars if the ending was different. I do recommend it because literally like 98% of the book is amazing. So I do recommend this if you are into YA thrillers and semesters at sea with a little bit of a spooky atmosphere. It's a great book. It is. Next, I read Wings of Shadow by Nikki Powell Preto, and this is the 3rd and final book in the Crown of Feathers trilogy. And oh my god, this trilogy. So this trilogy is about these 2 girls. They are sisters, and one betrays the other, so the other goes off to try to find all the Phoenix Riders. So she finds all these Phoenix Riders. She learns about Phoenix, but she's actually masquerading as a guy because there are only allowed to be guy Phoenix Riders in this world. And this is all happening after a war, and I'm doing a really bad job at explaining this, but I swear this trilogy is so good. I don't want to give too much away because it's better to go in blind. I went in completely blind. The only thing I knew about this book was that there was a phoenix in it. Multiple phoenixes. That's all I knew. And that's all you really need to know. The magic in this world is absolutely amazing and breathtaking. I loved everything with the birds. Like, they took Phoenix and really flew with it. Like, it was so cool. I loved it. I cannot recommend this trilogy enough. Please just go read it. I literally gave each book 5 out of 5 stars. It's an amazing YA fantasy trilogy. Next, I read Crown of Ivy and Glass by Claire Legrand. I actually have a full review video for this up if you want to go check that out. This is I say like new adult fantasy, and I think it personally is Claire Legrand's best book that I've read by her, because I have all her books right there. Definitely the best book that I read by her. So this is about a girl who is in a magical family, but she herself has no magic. And magic, actually, when she's around it, can cause her physical harm. Like, she will start feeling sick and get pain all over her body. And in this, her family has a feud with the Basque family, and she is trying to just destroy the Basque family so the feud can finally be done and they can live their lives. And she meets this one guy, and they make a deal. He will help her destroy the Basque family if she helps him get back into the good graces of the queen. The plot goes a lot deeper than that. It is amazing, like, how much deeper it went. Like, it blew my mind. I didn't expect for the story to go the way that it did, but I love that it went that way. It's so fun. There's demons and magic, and the writing is just so beautiful. I loved the description scenes, the fighting scenes. There's some spicy scenes in it, which were also written pretty well. It was just such a good book, and I highly recommend it. Next, I read Unbreaking by L.D. Waters, and this book is about Zerrilla, and she made a wish to a injured fae that she saved to have her happy ending with this prince. The only thing is, it is not a happy ending. Because of this wish, they actually became immortal, and they have to spend eternity with each other, and they do not like each other. They actually hate each other with a burning passion. And they can't harm each other either. Like, at one point, she literally tries to throw a teacup at his head, and she can't move her arm past, like, here. She can't do it. So she goes and tries to find this fae again because she wants this curse to be broken. And things just go from there. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I loved the magic in it. I loved the fae in it. The writing was awesome. The characters, I love it. There's also like a few pictures in here too, which was a very nice surprise. I like it when authors include pictures of the characters, because you can really visualize it even better, and you get to visualize it the way the author intended it to be visualized. I love this. The plot was really entertaining. I love the ending. The ending, how it ended, is not something that's like I would typically like, but it worked really, really well with the story, and I honestly couldn't imagine it ending any other way. So I highly recommend it. The author sent me this book. She was so sweet about it. I cannot wait for the next book to come out, because I will be getting it and I will be reading it. Highly recommend it. Everyone go check it out. Next, I read Long Game by Lisa Suzanne. This is the second book in this series. It's a football romance series. I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. So this is about a couple. It's I can't remember the main character's name. I can't remember her name. Oh my god. She ends up fake dating her brother's best friend, who she is also living with until she can get off her feet. So there's fake dating, forced proximity, football romance. It's a fun read. I just thought it was a little bit too short and could be fleshed out more. This one really goes more into their fake engagement. And I feel like the first and the second book could have been combined into one, and it would have seemed a bit more fleshed out then, because like the first one left off with a cliffhanger, the second one picks off right like in that scene. So I feel like those could have been combined, but they're nice, quick, short reads. I do plan on continuing with the rest of the series. I really like this. Luke is the guy in this. Frustrated the hell out of me in this one. I really just wanted to grab him by the shoulder, shake him, and tell him he's being an idiot if only we could actually do that to book characters in real life. That would be great. But yeah, it's enjoyable. It's a fun, quick read. Highly recommend. Next, I read From Gods by Mary Ting, and I've had this on my Kindle forever. So while I was recovering, I decided, let's just give it a shot. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It was written in 2013. You can kind of tell that it was written in 2013. So this is about a girl who goes to live with her cousin for a few weeks in the summer, and while she's there, they meet this group of guys. They're broody, they're cute, they become obsessed with these guys. So they start dating them, and then the main character finds out that they're actually the descendants of Zeus, and she herself is the descendant of something, but they don't know what. Yeah, I just felt like the scenes were very rushed in this. The plot moved way too fast. Like, and battle scene would happen, and it would seem kind of traumatic, and the main character would just be like, okay, let's go, I'm done. Like, no reaction to it whatsoever. I feel like the characters and their feelings about certain things needs to be fleshed out more, because it was really hard to connect to the characters when they seem so like one-dimensional, because you don't really see them react in any big way to anything. Even when she sees giant like ugly monster things, she's like, what are those? Like, not even really freaking out that much. Like, I did not enjoy it that much. I probably honestly would have loved this if I read it back in 2013 when it was released. I would have loved this. I would have ate this up. But now, since my reading tastes have changed and I read more adult than young adult, it was not for me. And the last book that I read is Crestfallen by Michael Pierce. And this is the second book in the Spellcrest Academy series. I actually started this book last year and I only just finished it this year. So this is a magical world where this girl runs into this dying woman, tries to save her, and instead the dying woman gives her this needle and thread that goes into her skin, and it helped awaken her magical powers. And then like a guy comes and gets her and takes her away to Spellcrest Academy, where she will learn to grow her power and how to control it. I do absolutely love the characters in this, the cast of characters. There's a big cast of characters, but they're all really fun and they're all unique. I like the magic too. I like how it's like the threaded needle and they have to like stitch up the seams in the universe, so like you can't cross over between worlds and like locations and stuff. I thought that was really unique and really cool. This one though, I think since it just took me so long to read because I kept getting distracted by other books, so it's really my fault. I was pulled out of the story a lot, so I had a hard time connecting to anything and enjoying it. I did still enjoy it, but not as much as the first one. I do have the third one, and I do plan on reading the third one. I'm not sure if I'll continue after the third one. We shall see. But I did enjoy it. 3 out of 5 stars. It's a fun YA fantasy read. So that is everything that I read in March. If you like this video, please like and subscribe down below, and come back for some more videos soon. Bye everyone.